And impact, first round hit, 2,055 meters. And impact, first round hit, 2,055 meters. 55 meters and first round hit. I'd say that bush is probably 10 inches tall by, let's say, I don't know, 18 or 20 inches wide. You know, basically if you turned 66% IPSC on its side and cut it in half, something like that anyway. Really happy with that though. I ran out of dialing. I'm actually dialed all the way to 29 even on the Mark 5, and then I held 5.5 and I held 3 mils for wind. And you know, good estimation of what the wind is doing out there. And yeah, tagged it. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm ecstatic with this rifle. It was quite the adventure getting it set up. It's the Ruger Precision Rifle Custom Shop 6mm Creedmoor. So if that's not a mouthful, I don't know what is. It's a Mark 5 scope, and it's got one of their, I want to say it's their PR2-mil reticles in it. It's a Christmas tree type reticle, like a short Christmas tree, and then a lot of holdover underneath. Pretty uncluttered. Back to the rifle anyway. Superb, absolutely superb. I'm so happy with it. It's got a Rangetech trigger right from the factory. You cannot go wrong with that. I've got one of the Rangetech diamond triggers in my 338 version of this rifle, and I've got a few little things changed on that. One of the things I've always changed on these Ruger Precision rifles though is to change out the grip. I hate those old school M16 style grips that come back in a big sweep, and I really like this Magpul KOE 2, and it's a rubber coated grip, and it's the most vertical of all of the grips that they offer. So it's really ergonomic whether you're shooting off the tripod or shooting prone or shooting off of, you know, barriers and stuff, right? And then moving forward, you know, we're using a Magpul type mag. You know, it comes factory with 10 round mags. You can get 20 if you want, but I don't like to go with the longer mags when it comes to precision rifles, because a lot of the times if you're shooting off of a barrier or something like that, or off of a hump of a hill or something, the longer mag will get in the way. Moving forward from there, we've got an Arca rail all the way from front to back on this fore end as well. And then you've got M-LOK slots all the way along the top, and you can add rails to it if you want to run night vision. The fore end is plenty strong for running night vision, mounting other stuff on the front, and M-LOKs down the side as well too for whatever you want. Like I put a QD cup that came with it and a QD cup on the back, and I'm good to go. I want to say, like, a note of caution, I've had multiple sets of mil-spec QD cups that have come undone on me. So if you notice right here, I've actually got the sling floating free, so it can actually wrap around whatever side I want. And it's on a piece of 550 paracord. And that's sort of my insurance, right? Because I've had one of these QD cups come undone, and my whole rifle just go whoop onto the muzzle. Luckily, it only knocked it out of zero, I don't know, a MOA and a half or something like that, and nothing more. Okay, so moving forward, we've got a custom shop barrel here. Does not say who the manufacturer it is. It is a phenomenal barrel, and I want to say it's a 1 in 7 because we're shooting 6mm, and then we have got a APA muzzle brake on the front, which is just fantastic as well too. Nearly as soft shooting as a Terminator would be, every bit as accurate and a lot less expensive. For mounts, we have the, I want to say it's 30 MOA on the rail or on the scope base, if I remember correctly, and I apologize if I get this wrong. This is not a scripted review. And then we've got a Warren Skyline Precision 35mm one-piece scope mount with a built-in 20 MOA. So between the two of them, I've got 50 MOA of slant, and this allows me to get nearly all the travel out of this scope, and that is freaking awesome. It is just such a comfortable combination to shoot, and the Mark V really just makes this rifle. I am going to put another Mark V on this actually, and I'm going to put a Mark V with a Tremor 3 reticle and illumination on this next. This is actually going to go on to one of the school guns. And then moving back, Leupold has this, or not Leupold, Ruger actually includes this nice soft sort of foam rubbery but more like rubber cheek piece, which you can add onto the buttstock as well too, and it comes with a really high quality 3M adhesive backing, so it sticks and it stays. This is a nice improvement, because in the past I've had to make these things out of craft store foam and spray adhesive, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. Super tight hinge on this thing. You can tell they took the time and effort to make sure that this thing came out of the custom shop ready to go. But nonetheless, there is a couple of things to heed with this rifle, like any rifle. And I've had some really stupid, ignorant comments lately about, oh, you should buy a Tikka, blah, blah, blah. Well, I have Tikkas. I do exactly the same thing to my Tikkas as well too, which is to take them all apart, make sure everything is blue Loctited and torqued to spec. So if you buy one of these rifles, and I highly encourage you to, because you will have a ton of fun with it, you can rebarrel it yourself with just a few tools, and save yourself a ton of money in the long run. And you can do everything from hunting to just hobby target shooting to competition shooting with this thing. These custom shop rifles are very smooth running the action, much smoother than the non-custom shop ones have been in the past. I can't speak to what the new generation of RPRs is like, because I haven't got a new one in a few years now besides this one. But this one is absolutely buttery smooth, and it's a lot quieter than they were in the past. If you really don't like the buttstock, you can switch it out to anything that fits on an AR-15 or AR-10. You can get one of the Magpul readily adjustable ones. I don't see the point really for this rifle, because it's so ergonomic as it is. But yeah, nonetheless, you can if you want to, if you really want to Gucci it out. Now, like I said, there are some caveats to these rifles. Like any other rifle, you have got to take your rifles apart when you buy them and make sure that your action bolts and whatever forend you have on your rifle, and any other anchor, any other bolts, like the RPR has bolts that actually go from the other side through the other to here, and you've got to get yourself a fix-it sticks kit, and like we sell and what we use for our classes and for our students' guns. And you've got to get your blue Loctite, get a fresh container of blue Loctite, make sure it's really well mixed, pull all the machine screws out, and then dip them in blue Loctite, start them again, get them all started. Don't torque any of them down until they're all started, and go through and torque to proper spec, especially with your scope mounts, your base, and so on. With bases, what I like to do all the time now, because none of them are machined quite perfectly to match any rifle, I like to put a copious layer of blue Loctite between the scope base and the top of the action, whether it's Remington actions, whether it's the RPR, it's Tikka, it's whatever, right? And then blue Loctite on the scope cap screws as well too. So while we're talking about scope cap screws, one of the best things about this setup right here is the modularity that Warren has built into it. You can actually attach a dope sheet to the top of this thing. You can have a pull-out level that compresses in, keeps it in and out of the way, and stops it from getting snagged on stuff. And you can add it to the front, the back, or whatever you want to do. So, you know, it's great in that way because it saves you having to attach other things to the front, like this level that I've got on here right now, which is from US Optics. And this fold-out level is great, but it's expensive and it's hard to get, and they've been out of stock for like a year. I think they have some in stock. So I will say there's a couple of things. We've been a dealer for, just to be upfront, we've been a dealer for Rangetech for quite a few years now, since we were located in Canada where we started. And you know, once we went Rangetech, we never went back. I think you guys all knew I was going to say that. You know, we're happy to get you guys one of these things, and let me just leave off. We have 11,280 acres of training land on 3 different sections. One that's a 10,000 acre section. This is roughly like 5 miles by 5 miles. And then 2 other sections that are 640 acres apiece. And they all have different challenges with them. And, you know, we're at a high elevation. We are at you know, we're in an area that has really high winds, and it just provides like just a phenomenal place to learn and challenge yourself, push yourself to the failure point, and then learn from there, and then move on to become a better shooter. We'll push guys to 2,000 yards, you know, plus in 35, 37 mile per hour winds. We do this in Canada, we do this here, and guys are successful in those conditions, which is pretty hard to believe, but it is possible. So the other thing that we do offer too is we offer a 5% discount off anything that you buy from us for life after you take a course from us. And trust me when I say that we will save you a lot of money if you're getting into this and you want to learn about the equipment and what you need to have on hand to make yourself successful. How to set everything from how to set up your rifle to how to, you know, reload, and then how to shoot in, you know, difficult terrain from high plateau deserts to high mountain environments, flat mountain environments, you know, whatever you want to do. So yeah, check us out, Rangetech US, and thank you for sticking around throughout this review. Loving this rifle. This is my new favorite precision rifle. And I have got some really nice ones. You know, I've got a couple of custom built rifles, and this thing just takes the cake. It is just so much fun. And we didn't even talk about the 6mm Creedmoor. What a cartridge. I mean, you saw it there. That's a first round hit. And if you really, really want to, you guys can count the seconds from the time I shot to the time that the round actually arrived on target. And I'll tell you the specs of the cartridge and the feet per second and so on, and you guys can verify yourself for the distance if you'd like. All right, that's it. Have a great one, guys.